final round of the Ford Open. Wayne Riley looking to make his 3 at the 14th. So the challenge stalls a little for Radar. Back to 3 under for the day, 4 under for the championship. And let's head back to our leader, Craig Parry, leading by 3. Tee shot at the par 4, 11th.
Oh, that's heading out towards the right, blown further right with the wind.
And there's long, thick rough out there. That's danger for Parry. No real trees, but thick, long grass.
Man who enjoyed his moment in the sun 12 months ago, Stuart Bouvier, defending champion. Finishing off with a bogey, unfortunately. And finishes at 2 over. When you consider he was 7 over after 27 holes, it's been a pretty good fight back by the Queenslander.
Sure was.
We'll go to the 11th. This is Raymond Russell in outright second at the moment. Tee shot.
It's starting up the right-hand side. Still just drifting with the breeze. May miss the fairway right.
Yeah, right.
It has there, Ozzy, just into the light rough, and it should be okay. It's sitting up. We can see the ball.
Peter O'Malley from off the edge of the green. It's his 3rd shot at the 12th. Very classy work there. Just over a metre left for his par.
Go back to the 11th, David McKenzie. Just coming off a triple bogey now. He's just got to hold it together.
Oh, that's going low and straight up the centre.
Great. That's good. I'm just pleased. And just make some pars. Consolidate the round. Then maybe get a couple of birdies to come in and get back into that top 5. And that's where the big checks are. He could get a little bit downhearted and just drop the head a little bit and drop a few more shots, and it cost him some money. The Swedish visitor on the 12th. This is for birdie.
That's Marcus Norgren.
Interesting story. He came out here just for the fun of it and all of a sudden qualified. Now he's playing his first event here on the ANZ Australasian Tour.
Anthony Wall, unfortunately able to finish in style. He's had a pretty good day. And that should be a round of 69 for the Englishman.
Set the course alight earlier, didn't he? He was 5 under for his round at one stage.
Finishes 2 under as we go back to Craig Parry from the right rough at 11.
This is a 9-iron from 127. Had a big clump of mud on his ball and it's come out soft and left.
That's a terrific break there. It could have easily been caught up in the rough behind that trap, giving him almost no shot, but that's not all that difficult now for Craig.
Up ahead at the 12th, Peter O'Malley. This par putt down the slope. Well done. 7 under the card for the tournament. 4 behind and outright 3rd.
Well, Raymond Russell currently 1 under for the round. Started the day leading. Hasn't made too many mistakes. A very steely competitor. He knows Craig Parry's lead of 3 is not a big lead. And Parry off the green with his 2nd. A great angle into the stick here. Pin on. Just 4 metres from the left edge. Skip up. Oh boy, the previous couple of days with the firmer ground, that would have been perfect, but
We just saw the defending champion, Stuart Bouvier, finishing his day. Here he is with Tim Webster.
Yeah, with me, not to be this year.
Yeah, well, I've got away to a terrible start this year and I've been fighting back ever since. So considering the start I got, I'm fairly pleased with the way I finished the week.
Yeah, as it turned out, the 77 on Thursday was hard to get back from there.
Yeah, I was 7 over after, I think, 11 holes the first day. And I got it back to, I think it was 2 under for the tournament at one stage coming in with about 6 holes to go today. So it wasn't too bad considering all that.
Still, you won this last year and then struggled a bit for the rest of the tour. Maybe go the other way this year.
Hopefully, yeah. I've 1 from 1 with cuts, so hopefully I continue on barring the first 10 holes, play like that for the rest of the year, I'll be fine.
You're the first player we've spoken to come off the course. You've said the wind has really picked up in the last 8 or 9 holes.
It is picking up. I honestly wish it was like this the last couple of days. I might have had a chance, but I far from it with Pazza there up there, I suppose. But it's great when the wind's up. It makes it a lot more challenging. It spreads the field out.
Good to see you all back. Play well for the rest of the summer.
Thank you.
Stuart Bouvier, the defending champion here at Kooyonga. Marcus Norgren for his par 4. That's at the 12th. So he heads towards the 13th tee as we head to David McKenzie, second shot to 11.
It's a sandwich, just a little bit left of the pin.
Yeah, you're right, Ozzy. Just a little bit left, so hopefully he can make that for a birdie as we go up to the 12th. Peter Senior, second shot. Hole starting to run out for Senior.
Long birdie opportunity for Peter Senior. There's 2 under for the round and 5 under for this championship, and that puts him 6 shots behind Craig Parry, who leads the final round of the Ford Open Championship. Back to Kooyonga on 10 after this. As was the case last year, Craig Parry leads on the back 9 on the final day of the Ford Open. Here he is at the 11th with his 3rd shot. Pretty clever. Just over a metre remaining to stay at 11 under par.
Peter O'Malley, second shot into the 13th.
149 metres, 7-9, and that's just drifting on the wind. It's going to stay out to the right a bit.
Beautifully struck from O'Malley.
We'll go back to the 12th hole. Peter Senior, as Brett was saying earlier, he's just starting to run out of holes. He's trying to make these birdies. Slipping by up on the right-hand side. Taps that in to be 5 under. Equals 4th spot.
Norgren, second shot into 13.
Also 149 metres, and he's gone with the 8-iron, kept it low. Looks pretty good.
Directionally perfect and a good birdie chance.
Lovely loose flowing swing, Marcus Norgren. That's enabled him to be on the first page of our leaders board. 6 shots shy of Craig Parry. Here's Raymond Russell, just putting out at the 11th. He makes his par and stays within 3. You would think at the moment there are probably 3 realistic chances. Craig Parry, as we said, led this championship last year until a disaster befell him at the 14th. I wonder if he'll be thinking about that when he gets to the little par 3, the Ford hole, a bit later on. Raymond Russell and Peter O'Malley definitely still in contention. They head away from the 11th now and head towards the 12th. Just a moment ago, this was Craig Parry putting out and making his par. Rock solid.
Yeah, that is a really good 4, solid. Struggled with his tee shot, struggled with his second, and got back onto the green and hold it.
Now David McKenzie coming off a triple bogey on 10. This to bounce back for a great birdie on 11.
Also from a moment ago.
And that's a shame. It's a shame because it would have been terrific for him to be able to, the easiest way to put a disaster out of your mind is to bounce back with a birdie.
And all of that putting action recorded at the 11th green. They'll head to 12. We've already had a look at 12. 356 metre par 4. Craig Parry standing on the tee at the moment with a 3-shot advantage.
And hopefully when he gets in, he'll be able to drink some of that Sir James champagne. Very tough driving hole for Craig because he does fade the ball. Keep it up the left side. Just fallen a little bit. He's been a bit wayward with his tee shots.
Hasn't found a fairway on the back 9 so far.
He's just looking looking a little untidy at the moment, but I'm sure he'll play through this stretch. So perhaps a little bit of encouragement in this mind game between these two players at the moment.
Does Raymond Russell attack now, Brett, or is it too early to go all-out attack?
I don't think he needs to go all out yet. It's always nice when you're chasing a player to see him struggling. I think it just lifts you that extra level. So he'll be heading this up the right half with a little draw.
And he has started up the right-hand side, right down the middle now, drawing back perfect.
Advantage Russell so far on the 12th.
Well, just next to that tee on the 13th green, this is Peter O'Malley for birdie. He's lagged it down nicely. Another little tap in there. We just keep seeing him tap it in from a short distance free par, but that's in 7 under, outright third.
Should bring you up to date with Robert Allenby, who's also playing with Peter O'Malley. He's level par for the day and 3 under for the championship. Marcus Norgren also in that group, 5 under for the championship and 2 under for the round.
David McKenzie.
Starting low up the left-hand side, may stay in the rough.
Unfortunately for him, only just into that second cut, and that's where the rough is the lushest.
Marcus Norgren. It's birdie putt. Look at this. Has it? No. It's like someone just put some Glad wrap over the hole and the ball just will not go in.
Yeah, they've got that little goalkeeper in there today, I think.
Yeah. But this is fantastic. This is his first pro event here in Australia. Out here with his girlfriend Anna.
And a good performance might get him into the Australian Open Championship next week.
The top 10.
Who aren't already exempt.
That's right. So it could actually go down to someone finishing in about 30th position might actually sneak in and not have to pre-qualify for the Australian Open, which is going to be at Royal Sydney next week. But I don't think Robert Allenby's worrying about that, as he's got this par putt. So he's got to keep his head still, hasn't he, Brett? He just opens his shoulders a little bit and cuts across it. And there was a good firm putt straight in the back.
Of course, Robert will be looking forward to the Open next week. That's where he won when he beat Brett Ogle a few years ago. Dramatic close to that tournament. And I think we're in for a dramatic closing few holes here as well. Tournament far from over.
Par for O'Malley. He's at 7 under the card. Let's go to Tim Webster, who has a very special guest with him.
Peter, I've got the president of the Ford Motor Company of Australia with me, Jeff Pilates. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
Great. Nice day for golf.
Yes. They had a bit of rain last night,
Yeah.
but according to everybody, that just softens up the greens and should make us some pretty good golf today. So
Make the
we're
players
looking
happy.
forward to it. Yeah.
Ford is very heavily involved in sponsorship, not just of golf, but of sport in general. It's obviously important to you.
Yeah, sport has a big part of what we see as the live it theme. It's just being involved in life and active, and obviously elite sport takes a big part of that. It's part of the Australian psyche, and so we're happy to be associated with it.
If I could go away from golf for a minute, the FAI 1000 at Bathurst is just becoming the most amazing event, isn't it?
Well, it was
For you guys in
last
particular.
weekend. It was the most depressing of events, but
Yeah, weren't you unlucky?
yeah, it was disappointing to have the fastest car and the strongest car and not to win, but that's life. We'll be back next year bigger and better.
What about golf now? I mean, it's burgeoning in this country, and we've got Greg Norman spending a lot more time here, and it just seems to go from strength to strength in Australia.
I think one of the interesting things about golf is that Australian golf's healthy with or without Greg Norman almost.
Sure,
it's, when you look at the quality of the field here and the number of guys who can win and the standard of the golf, it's whilst the superstars are an important part of it, that the game's really so strong now that it doesn't almost need them. It's a great thing.
And for a sponsor, I mean, Australian sport at the moment is just unbelievable. We won everything, much to the distress of the Kiwis, of course.
Well, yeah, and as a sponsor of major sponsor of rugby, it's been a pretty good association there to have been associated with the Wallabies. But yeah, sport in Australia just is an integral part of everything that we do.
Yeah, we've just mentioned 3 things in the space of this interview: golf, motor racing, and rugby. I mean, you really are into it, aren't you?
Yeah, the other one, the fourth plank, is Australian football,
Yep,
where we're
yep.
obviously the sponsor of Geelong. And we're the sponsor of Geelong for commercial and emotional reasons, since we have a major facility and indeed started in Geelong 75 years ago. So, yeah, it's all part of us.
Well, as you know, we thank you very much for your support of golf, particularly with Network 10. We couldn't do it without you, and that's the truth. Well,
it's as I say, we're there because we really want to be there. It's part of what we do. It's a great way of relating to our customers. You know, there'll be 10,000 of them floating around out here today, and there'll be millions more watching on Channel 10. So it's just a way of keeping in touch and being relevant to everybody.
We'll see you this afternoon when you hand over those lovely checks to the players.
Thanks a lot, Tim.
Thanks, Jeff.
Tim Webster with Jeff Polite. He's the president of the Ford Motor Company of Australia. And the lion's share of the prize money from the sponsors look like going to this man, Craig Parry. Here's his second at the 12th.
One pretty good lie. Started right of the pin, just working back on the wind.
Put the brakes on, and that's handily placed. As we go to 14, Marcus Norgren.
It's 148. He's going with 7. It's just staying a little out to the right.
Still giving himself a lot of opportunities, Marcus Norgren. Ian Stanley has taken a break from commentary. And Wayne Grady is back in the commentary box with us, watching Raymond Russell, the man in second place in grades.
Thank you, Peter.
It's a 7-iron from 121. Starting right, also turning on the breeze, staying right though.
Yes, 121 metres he had. He would normally hit a 9-iron that far. It was into the wind, so he added 1. It was uphill, he added 1. So 7 was the club as we go to Peter Senior.
Fucking every time, Pete.
That's going right. Tell by his body language.
Well, he fell for the trap there of having played it to the right the previous couple of days, and that was in his mind. Did it again.
David McKenzie.
Second at 12 for McKenzie.
Even into a strong wind like that. Now over to 14, Robert Allenby.
It's another 7-iron, 148.
Is that the car, Sandy?
Yeah, I don't think so. To the left of the car. In a big hole.
Yep.
It's humming off the left.
Robert does turn the ball a lot from right to left, so he could hold it up against that breeze quite easily, and the ball wouldn't be affected as much as some of the other players like Parry or David McKenzie.
Now let's go ahead to the 18th. Here's one of our fine players in Stephen Leaney. It's a round of 73 today for Stephen Leaney. He finishes the championship.
I think that's Brett Partridge.
Well, that's Brett Partridge. Yeah. We'll find out what Brett Partridge's score was in a minute.
Well, Leeds was playing with Brett Partridge today, so now Craig Parry off the back of the 12th. No great dramas here. Not much of a ridge or anything to come over. That's why you can see Craig with the putter. Actually quite holeable from here. It's one of the flattest spots on the green up at the back there, Brett. And there's a good view of it.
It's an excellent low camera angle, indicating that the green does slope right to left. The back of the 13th green here.
Brett Partridge, by the way, had a 76 to finish at 5 over.
So Craig has had a really good look at this. He's picked the line. He decides how far out to the right he will aim. Once he's set himself for aim, he just thinks speed.
He was fooled by that. I'm sure he thought he had that for a long time. Didn't turn near as much as we expected.
But again, it was a quality putt, wasn't it? We very rarely see Craig Parry put a bad stroke on a putt.
We mentioned Stephen Leaney before, and he'll be the defending champion at the ANZ Players Championship, which we'll see on Network 10 in a couple of weeks. And he fired 73 today to be 1 over and currently in a tie for 27th as we head back to this beautiful little par 3 that had Robert Allenby so mystified.
Yes, and mystified he certainly was, and now he's got a shocking lie. It's a downhill plugged ball. So this is he's certainly not going to be able to stop this.
If you'd like a difficult shot, just set one up like this.
As you can see, he's playing way to the right of the hole.
Yeah, it was a nasty, nasty lie.
The only good thing about that is we weren't playing it.
Back to him in a moment. David McKenzie.
It would have been nice for him to ease that one into the hole. At least he's having a go at birdies again. Making some solid pars. The birdies will come, we hope.
Back to 14 now. It's Robert Allenby's second bunker shot, his third shot.
That was no bargain either, that shot, because really couldn't get the ball up quickly and stop it short of the flag coming off the shoulder to the hole there.
Raymond Russell now on the 12th. Craig has already missed his birdie attempt. Just not enough to hold its line.
Just lacked a little enthusiasm, didn't it? Once again, a long, smooth stroke. That's the way he likes to hit his putts.
Come back for more of that on 12 very shortly. Peter O'Malley in the bunker at the 14th. And he's played a beauty. Down there with Sandra Mackenzie Wood today, and we thought the bunkers on 14 might get a bit of a working over with the pin cut today, just 4 from the left. Craig Parry tidies up, stays at 11 under, and the leader by 3. And I wonder if he will, Grades, have thoughts of 14 when he gets there after what happened to him last year, or would that not even cross his mind?
I really don't think so, Peter. You play so much golf and so many holes. Of course, at some stage it might cross his mind, but only for a brief moment. He will rely more on good memories, and that's what good players do. They forget the bad things and rely on the good memories.
Birdie putt for Norgren on 14. Well, this 14th green recently resurfaced. Undulations and things were changed and new grass, a little slower as we go to 13. And a very nicely played little chip and run from Peter Senior, so that'll be a par for him.
Back on the tee, Craig Parry 13, much easier tee shot today, playing downwind and off the left.
We started down the left side, just working back on the breeze a touch.
And right in the mayor's office.
First time he's driven in the fairway on the back 9, Craig Parry.
And that's a par for Senior. So 2 under today. He's playing his best golf this tournament on the weekend. Struggled the first couple of days.
Looks like it's a little better than his effort yesterday, which was in the left heavy rough. That's just in the first cut. Look how far Craig's hit that thing down there. He's picked up a little bit of distance, hasn't he? Yeah. I know they call him Popeye, but actually the press are the only people who call him Popeye. The players don't.
People think that he's a relatively short hitter, but maybe he's one club shorter than some of the other players in the field with his irons, but off the tee, he times the ball so well.
So does this man, who's not a tall man, David McKenzie, but he's ripped a couple down the middle today.
That one started in the centre as well, and it's moving right now.
David again moves the ball from left to right. So these holes that are downwind and off the left, he's having trouble with all day today.
It's a fabulous tee shot here on 13 too. You hit from an elevated tee out through a chute over a crest. So,
and David, not at any stage to be critical, but David smiles a lot or whatever. At some stage, he's got to get a bit of mongrel in him.
well put.
Will it be just the one for Robert Allaby? No, it's going to be at least two. Dreadful luck with his first shot from the bunker. So that's a 5. And that takes him back to 1 under, 2 over for the day. He won't be the last one to drop a shot on 14, you wouldn't think, because we are at the business end of the Ford Open Championship. And Peter O'Malley is right in contention for a very big check. He's currently in 3rd place. This is for his par at the 14th. And he stays at 7 under, outright 3rd. He's got, importantly, a 2-shot buffer over the men behind him in Marcus Norgren and Peter Senior. Speaking of the Swede,
makes his par on 14. Going to be very content with his work so far, and just 4 holes to go.
So Parry is a 3-shot leader over Raymond Russell in the final round of the Ford Open Championship from Kooyonga in Adelaide. Got a little bit dark early in the afternoon there, but it's still a very nice place to be. And that's where we are, at Kooyonga, for the final round of the Ford Open Championship. And our last group is currently on the 13th. Measures 389 metres, par 4. And you saw the ball positioning with Raymond Russell having driven at 247 metres. He's about to play his 2nd shot to the 13th, and Ozzie Moore is down there basking in this glorious Adelaide sunshine, Oz.
And that it is, Pete. 143 has on a slight downslope here. Good lie in the rough, 8 iron. Sounded a little heavy. I'll be surprised if it spins. It's going at the pin, though.
It's just come up about 8 metres short, Oz, but right on line.
One of the crucial holes on this back 9, the long par 3 15th. Peter O'Malley's tee shot.
3 iron, 198.
Beautiful long iron shot from O'Malley.
Back to 13.
That's a pitching wedge for Craig, 122, and that's at the pin.
2 things we didn't see yesterday. Yesterday, just playing very difficult, hitting woods into this hole for their 2nd.
Now we're back on the Coca-Cola hole, and they are providing up to $50,000. It started at $18,500 yesterday, and it's jackpotted $250 for every unsuccessful attempt. And I think Marcus Norgren's just been waiting to pocket the $47,000.
Nathan Kent did it on Thursday with no money up.
This is the par 3, playing today, 198.
This is also 3 iron downwind, and looks pretty good.
Nasty hop. Still a very good shot from Marcus Norgren.
Is anything on the dance floor here on 15 is a fine play.
Wayne Riley. And that's for birdie. On the 17th, Riles is back now to 5 under.
David McKenzie. Long, wiry rough here, right of the 13th.
That was an 8 iron from 148. Hasn't got all of it. It's going to come up short and maybe right.
Robert Allaby's at the Coca-Cola hole, the par 3. And let's hope he has more success with his tee shot than he did at the previous par 3, where he was goosed by the wind and then had that simply awful lie in the bunker. Sandy?
A little indecisive again. He was deciding between 3 and 4. He's going with 4. And that's a little bit to the right of the flag. It's going to be pretty good, though.
Very good. Almost perfect distance.
Terrific reply after the double bogey on 14. David McKenzie playing from the sand. Outside chance to make his par on 13.
It's a shame to see him fall away like he has. He's back now to 3 under par, but he just, again, not to criticise, but he just needs to look like a bit more purpose, doesn't he? Instead of just going for a walk. This is crunch time now, Sunday afternoon, back 9 of the golf tournament. Even though he's out of it and he can't win, he's still a lot of money up for stake. A couple more birdies.
Everyone says you should go out and have fun, but you can be having fun and be determined at the same time.
Exactly, and it's a lot more fun to win.
As we look through our updated leaders board, we just saw the name of Tony Mills there, and we should pay him credit because he had one of those horror days at the office yesterday. Even though the scorecard didn't look too pretty, he really enjoyed himself out there, but he'll be enjoying himself a lot more today because he's in red figures for the final round. He's 1 under for the round and 2 under for the championship.
Also, Peter, if he's not exempt for next week Australian Open, the top 10 not already exempt get a berth, so that'll be a great bonus for him.
That's next week, but now this week, and a man who is still in contention for the title, Raymond Russell. Birdie opportunity at the 13th. Good roll.
Giddy up.
One more.
Well, when you're 3 behind, really have to make some putts, and you can't afford to be leaving anything short. This 13th green does slope a little bit from front to back. That was a little downhill. It was all so close.
Now, over to the 14th hole. Familiar figure of Peter Senior. And we've seen most players from the right-hand side of the green come up short. That is back up the hill and into the wind.
Well, this could be the tournament right here. Birdie putt here for Parry. This to extend his lead from 3 to 4. And he has the perfect read because he's just watched Raymond Russell. He hit it one smidgen harder.
Well, if I wanted someone to putt for my life from about 6 or 7 metres, that is the man right there.
Catch me if you can.
The gap is now 4.
And Peter Senior now for his par on 14.
And I dare
Remains
say,
5 under.
we'll have heard the roar from the 13th green, only 160 metres or so away, and he'll know that his chances of catching Craig Parry are all but gone.
Yeah, he knows he can't win the tournament, but at this stage of the tournament, all you're looking to do now is to finish as high as you possibly can. Whatever motivates you to do that, that is what all the players out here are trying to do.
Here's the course record holder, David McKenzie. One disastrous hole for him today. That was the 10th.
And this is what we call going shopping, Peter. Very expensive.
He's enjoyed his week, but he's probably not quite enjoying it as much now. Although it's good to see that he generally has a smile on his face.
Putt for 2 for Marcus Norgren on 15. And not too many birdies here today, or any day for that matter, on the 15th. Longest par 3 on the golf course.
And the second most difficult hole on the golf course right throughout the week, Brett. It's been averaging before today's play 3.33. Par for Norgren. He stays at -5 and very much in contention for a big check in front of this excellent gallery here at Kooyonga this afternoon. The first event in Australia on the ANZ Tour after last week's Johnny Walker Classic. Peter O'Malley's in the hunt, but he needs putts like that to fall.
Peter hasn't won that many times around the world, although every week you see him somewhere on the leaderboard. If he could putt just a little bit better, he'd be winning 4 or 5 times a year.
And that was recorded from just a few moments ago. Robert Allenby, also at 15. This is for a 2.
Yeah, Robert.
Well hauled. Robert Allenby gets one back and moves to 2 under. So that's the second of the par 3s. You don't often see that in tournament golf. Consecutive par 3s. Here's the first of them, and there is the prize up for grabs. The way Craig Parry's going at the moment.
Wayne, you've been driving one of those around all week, and you actually lent it to me last night.
I certainly have.
What a joy it was to drive.
I think that's the same colour and everything. It's sitting up there. They've put it up. It's been wonderful to drive, and I thank the Ford company very much for the opportunity to drive one this week.
The reason that was a very similar looking car is because that's where Brett parked it. That's yours, Craig.
That's hilarious. Now, Craig Parry, as we've discussed earlier, came to grief on this hole last year.
Off the left, mate.
From the front right bunker.
Yeah, the bunker's not there anymore. Maybe he filled it in, but
this is probably the hardest shot that Craig's got over the remaining holes. This and the tee shot on 17, because the wind is into him off the left, and Craig is a predominantly left to right player. Although he can turn it from right to left, sometimes he overdoes it.
So he has had trouble the previous couple of days on this hole. He's very protected back there at the tee. Can't feel the wind that's up at the green.
That's from 148, starting at the centre of the green and moving way right towards the right-hand bunker. It may just catch the green.
I'm sure Craig will be happy to have that tee shot out of the way, and he's on the dancing floor, so that was a good result. Now, 17th hole, Wayne Riley, second shot.
Happens to be a little pond down here on the front right of this green. Wayne successfully taking that out of play by playing long and to the left.
I just heard Raymond Russell's caddy say to him, concentrate, slow. It's very rhythmical.
It's a 6 iron. That's starting at the centre of the green and moving towards Craig's ball.
Well, they're obviously happy with the car that they drive. I'd rather have a new Ford.
Well, they'd be pretty happy with a 2, but both have only outside chances of getting their birdies here at 14. But they are at the top of the leaderboard. Craig Parry especially right at the top of the mountain at present, leading by 4 from Raymond Russell in the final round of the Ford Open Championship from Kooyonga. Well, the Fairmont gear is going to remain the property of the Ford Motor Company, because no one has managed an ace on the final 2 days. Mark Allen did it 1 day too early. David McKenzie put his tee shot in the bunker, and he's about to play second.
See, and they're short-sighted on the left-hand side, giving himself no room to play that bunker shot.
Peter Senior from short of the green on 15. Chip and run with a 6 iron. Played very much like a putt. Pretty clever.
Back to this lovely little 14th hole. I doubt, if you ask Robert Allenby's opinion of the moment of the bunkering, that he would share the viewpoint that it is a lovely hole.
Well, he was a little unlucky when his ball did bury on the downslope, and 99% of the bunkers here at Kooyonga and on golf courses where the bunkers are good, when the ball hits the back edge or the side edge of a trap, it will kick into the bottom, and the bunkers here having just recently been redone on the 14th, that didn't happen. So bad break for Robert. So we go to Craig with his putt for a 2.
And one of the few players we've seen get the ball to the hole, and actually quite a way past. He hasn't had a win this year. He's had a tremendous year money-wise, but no win, so he's really looking forward to staying where he is. Now, Wayne Riley on 17. Long putt. Okay, 5 under. Will remain 5 under. Tied for 4th.
Peter Senior has a really good look at this one. Putt of 1 metre. Back of this green, relatively flat. This is a straight putt. Doesn't miss too many of those, does Peter?
Now, Raymond Russell.
Go, 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 go. Not again.
There's nothing worse than seeing a track for so long online, and then in the back of your mind, you know you haven't hit it hard enough.
Amazingly, 2 in a row there for Raymond Russell. Probably about 4 centimetres stands between him and being 2 shots behind Craig Parry rather than 4.
Wayne Riley for his par on 17. And just a downwind 18th to finish, 5 under. Chance for a birdie on the last. And Radar will be looking forward to his best finish of the year.
Marcus Norgren finding the fairway trap that's on the left-hand side of this 16th fairway.
Yeah, he just caught this bunker off the tee, and he's just going to play for safety right now. He's just got a lofted club to make sure he gets it out and just get down the fairway where he puts himself in a good position for his 3rd. He's some 291 metres from the pin.
Thank you, Sandy. 240-metre carry to get over this trap, so only the really big hitters can do that.
Oh, and he's caught the front. Oh, now he's got a long way to go.
Well, when you're in a fairway bunker, it's always nice to be able to advance your ball as far down the fairway as you can. But first things first, you must take enough club to clear the lip. Perhaps a little bit greedy there. The good news is it actually came out of the bunker, but he's made a bit of a mess of this.
Now back to 14. David McKenzie for par. And nothing going right at all for David. He's wants to be careful.
Yeah, no, left for the right.
Sandy, how's Marcus Norgren's ball sitting there?
Well, the ball's not laying too badly. I mean, it's in reasonable long grass, but he seems to think he can get something a little longer to it. But he's a long way out, Pete. He's 280 metres.
Well, it looks as though he's surveying his options. David McKenzie made his bogey, by the way. And let's have a look at what that means to the leaders board. Craig Parry still 4 shots in front and marching towards victory. Twice a runner-up here. Looks as though he's going to go 1 better today. We'll be back to find out if he does after this. Well, if you ask Craig Parry at the moment, I think he'd agree that Adelaide is sensational. He's on the Coca-Cola hole, $48,500 up for grabs here.
That's a 3-iron downwind left to right, starting at the pin, moving with the wind to the right.
And he'll have about 22 metres remaining because the pin is at 21 on and 8 from the right. We saw Marcus Norgren weighing up his options after hitting the lip and just spilling out of the trap to the left of 16. What's he doing, Sandy?
He's waiting, Pete. There's a huge weight here. There's a big tail breeze blowing down this 16th, so he's going to have a go at these 3-wood out of a pretty ordinary lie, but Peter O'Malley and those will all have a go at it as well.
Well, he's certainly been aggressive in his final round here, Marcus Norgren, and enjoying his stay as we go back to the Coca-Cola hole, the 15th.
Yes, Ken Raymond Russell hit this into birdie range.
That's a 3-iron, starting at the pin, heading towards Craig's ball.
Just one club light.
Now, back over to 16, and finally, Marcus Norgren is ready. Green is cleared.
Grades is some 270 metres out. He's going with his 3-wood. He seems to think the ball's laying relatively well. Big tailwind. Oh, and that seems to be coming around nicely, going towards that left bunker.
Well, apparently he's studying to be a maths teacher, and he had his sums almost right there. Very nearly able to reach from 270 metres away. So an outside chance to save his par.
If he keeps playing like this, he'll need it to count up the money he's going to make.
He's in for a nice payday.
So's Wayne Riley after the day that he's had. Needs a par at the last for a round of 68.
Well, from here, Peter, he's only got a short 50-60 metre pitch. He's taken the driver and hit it over the corner of the bunkers.
This is no snack, this shot. Very tricky to judge the distance. Must not be long.
Sit down. The unfortunate thing there is he did the right thing off the tee, but he's left himself with such a short shot that he was unable to put too much spin on it.
Well, as you said, Grades, he must have ripped his tee shot. We're going to have a look at that. And I don't think he would have left too much behind on this one.
Oh. That did. Oh, and right over everything. Straight over the bunkers. And 251 metres to carry those, and he carried them easily.
And he'll be right up against the hospitality marquees as he heads to the back of the 18th. A couple of drop zones there. I don't know whether he's actually in need of one. Probably hasn't gone quite as far through.
Well, when you consider he's got his card back in Europe, but he hasn't played that well for the last 4 or 5 months. And this, at the moment, he's tied for 4th. So we go back to 15.
His last win, by the way, Grades, Wayne Riley, was the 96 Portuguese Open.
Yeah, and he was pretty much on top of the world then. He was playing a few tournaments in America and playing very well. And then, as happens to a lot of players, he started to go off the boil and questioning what he was doing, and all of a sudden his search leads to changing things, and before you know it, you're in a bit of a slump, and it takes a long time to get yourself out of it and back on track.
This man also won in 96 in Europe, won the Cannes Open. Raymond Russell. It's a big task for him to overhaul Craig Parry now. He'd have to do something exceptional, and Craig would have to fall in the last couple of hurdles, Brett.
Well, there's 4 holes to go. He's 4 strokes behind. By my calculations, that equates to him having to catch up 1 per hole. And Stuart Bouvier was able to hole a very long one on that green last year to go on to win. But as we watch Allenby.
It's a 4-iron, 238 metres, and it's right over the top of the trees. Looks pretty good.
Oh, unlucky there, Sandy. It's landed right on the edge of the bunker.
Great, that's a very big 4-iron.
Oh, it was, but it landed about 5 metres short of the green at the edge of the bunker and propped and rolled back down into the gully.
Up the hill and not swinging back quite as much as he'd hoped, but great leave. He's in control of his nerves. It takes great touch from way down there. So he's now asking the question of Craig Parry. Can you match that? I'm sure he can.
No, you don't ask Craig Parry, can you match me in touch, because he is the master. Now, over to 18, Wayne Riley, 3rd shot for birdie. difficult from behind this green. It doesn't leave you much to work with. And he'll have that to finish at 5 under for the tournament.
Well, Parry was in a similar position to this yesterday. The pin was well over on the back left, and he took 3 to get down. I don't think he will today. Second shot for Parry at 15. Well, some work to do.
Well, we've seen 2 uncharacteristic iron shots on 14 and 15 from Craig. And he's not exempt from nerves. Everyone suffers from it. Doesn't matter who you are. It's just how you handle them.
Fourth shot for Norgren. Little pitch up the green here on 16.
You can see he caught that a little bit thin. Didn't. Now left himself just in the edge of that rough, which is a difficult lie.
Robert Allenby got a bad break. This is his 3rd at 16. Five-metre birdie opportunity for the man from Victoria.
Just appeared a little wristy.
Does anyone know what that duck is on his hat? I've been looking at that for a while. I've never.
No one's came to ask.
Forget to ask him.
We'll dispatch someone to find out for you, Grace. How about that?
And after that, Chip, it's not going to be me who asks him.
Now, I'm making the point there that Robert seems to get a little wristy on those shots, and that can work nicely if your touch is on, but sometimes makes distance control very difficult. It'll be interesting to watch how Peter O'Malley plays these, where he doesn't have very much wrist action at all. Very firm wrists.
I think that's purely personal. That's just the way guys like to do things. Some guys see shots differently. It fits their eye a different way.
Look at a guy like Roger Davis, who is very wristy but very good at that shot.
Phil Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson's a great example. Very wristy, but it works for him.
Wayne Riley to clean up for his par. Yeah, great finish, Rice. Well done.
Round of 68 for Wayne Riley today to close. That'll ensure that he picks up a very good check. 5 under.
Now, big putt here for Parry. This is for par on 15. Yes. Been a little untidy tee to green.
They could have made the hole half the size there, couldn't they?
But his putting has been up to his normal classy standard.
So now the battle within the battle reverts to Raymond Russell and Peter O'Malley dicing for second placing, as it would seem, with Craig Parry looking as though he's going to get that much sought after victory in Adelaide with a 4-shot lead with 3 holes to play. Russell and O'Malley dueling for second. Wayne Riley in the clubhouse after a 68. All of those players also in the clubhouse, including the local boy Gary Simpson with a 68 in the last round. Back to Kooyonga in just a tick. It's the man who looks as though he's going to be walking away with a check for $108,000 a little bit later on. Looks as though he's standing tall, Craig Parry. Marcus Norgren tidies up. Makes his 6 and drops back to 4 under. Brett Officer has gone out to watch the closing stages down beside the 18th, and Ian Stanley has rejoined us in the commentary box.
Thanks, Peter. I was in the clubhouse talking to the one of the lady secretaries in the clubhouse, and this course was opened back in 1924, and it's still got the original layout, which is fantastic. As we watch Robert Allenby here putting for birdie, picked it up a little bit on the way back, but that didn't matter because they just went straight in the middle.
Back down the fairway. Peter Senior out of the rough with a 3-wood. Launched that into the air. Oh, unlucky, but that was a brave shot, taking it up over the trees on the right. Looks a little down in the dumps, doesn't he, Pete? But he is tied for 4th at 5 under par.
He's going to have a big gallery greeting him when he comes to the 18th in a few minutes' time.
Well, I think this is a pretty important tee shot for Craig here. He's on 16 here. He's got to aim it at the bunker because he fades everything. It's 250 odd metres to carry the bunker. He'll be trying to cut it back off it back into the middle of the fairway. The gallery like it, and why not? Look at that, bouncing up on top of the hill, just trying to get on top of that crest where he might be able to get up and 2 on this great par 5.
Second man in the group, Raymond Russell.
It's an interesting swing, Grades, isn't it? He seems to get his left hip out of the way a lot quicker than most of the other players do.
A good backswing, Peter, and then he holds onto the club right through the ball. It's sort of an anti-hook swing.
Tip that low up the left-hand side.
So good tee shots from both Parry and Russell on 16. And while they were playing those tee shots, there was a bit of action up ahead at the green. Peter O'Malley has made a birdie and is now tied for second with Raymond Russell. So as we said, the battle within the battle continues. Craig Parry in position A1 on the 16th fairway. Wayne Riley in the clubhouse after a 68. And that's what the leaderboard looks like. Peter Senior is in the left trap at 16. Needs an up and down to get it to 6 under the card. Steve Webster, great round today, 68 from the man from England. And Robert Allenby, currently even par, about to head to the 17th at Kooyonga, and we'll do it with him after this. We're in the home stretch at Kooyonga. So is Marcus Norgren. This is going to be his second shot to the par 4 17.
Pete, this is a horrible lie. I can't tell. He just needs to get this out.
Yeah, it was a shocker, Sandy, and we saw that. Sand coming up with the ball. So he hasn't had a good time of it with the sand in the last couple of holes. Peter Senior's in the sand and normally plays these very well. That one's no exception.
We go to the second shot of Robert Allenby at the 17th, just on top of the hill. And today the flag is cut 9 on, 5 from the right. There's a big water hazard there.
And he's got 140 metres. He's going with 6 on. It's into a very strong breeze.
Well, it must be. If he's hitting 6, he'd be just punching this. So he's on the upslope there, so the ball will get up very quickly, be trying to keep it down as low as possible.
Oh, and he's just pulled that straight left. Gone a mile left.
Right over into the gallery. Now he's got some work from there to just to keep it on the green, because the flag's right on the other side of the green, which slopes right down into that water hazard.
Some of that grass surrounding 17 at the side and at the back is not very hospitable, is it, Grades?
No, it's not, Peter. Thank you very much. And there's a look at our amateur leader, Aaron Badley. Peter O'Malley, 17th, second shot.
That's an 8 iron, 116. And a good shot, because this wind is really strong.
There's not too much room between the water at the front and the bunker at the back, and no one wants to get in that back bunker because they're then playing down the slope, looking straight at the water.
That's going to be an important putt for Peter O'Malley, because he is equal second with this man at the moment, Raymond Russell, who's about to play his second shot to 16. And Aussie Moore, the breeze is certainly becoming a factor in that part of the golf course.
Yeah, the breeze is right behind him here, but he's still too far out, 262, so he's going to lay up. And that's a 4-iron layup, starting down the centre of the fairway, just drawing to the left-hand side. Needs a soft bounce.
Well, Scott, that it's just in the light rough, but it's no damage there. Just got a nice little pitch shot from there.
Just saw a glimpse of Aaron Baddeley, and he's going to be the leading amateur. That's a round of 72 for the 18-year-old from Victoria. And he finishes the championship at 2 under.
His closest rival was Wayne Persky at 2 over par. So a comfortable win there for the amateur honours for Aaron Baddeley. And we go back to Craig Parry on 16. What Craig's doing here is if he's going to lay up, I assume he's going to lay up. If he is, then he's working out the exact yardage that he wants for his third shot. So he'll take a club to give him exactly what he wants to be left with.
Wayne, you're right there. A lot of the players will lay up, instead of hitting a 2-iron just short of the green, they'll lay up with a 4-iron so they can get a full sand on it to get the backspin.
By the way, Peter Senior tapped in for his birdie after that terrific trap shot. So he is now at 6 under.
That's actually a 5-iron he's laying up with. This is a great shot down the right edge of the fairway. Should be perfect.
Great spot there. That'll leave him with some 80 metres. So he'll be able to clip the sand on and check it up very quickly.
Marcus Norgren on 17. Third shot.
115-metre 9-iron, that's going to be short.
Just having a little problem getting it into the clubhouse.
Well, one man who had no problems getting into the clubhouse with a good figure today was Radar. Wayne Riley. He shot 68. Here he is with Tim Webster.
He is, and he wants to get away for a brown lemonade very shortly. Well played, but it could have been anything that round.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, today, you know, I hold a few putts, and during the week I didn't putt well enough and didn't take advantage of the 5s this week, which, you know, that's why I'm finishing back in the pack. But I mean, you know, I'm very, very happy going in the Australian Open the way I am playing, and today's sort of giving me a bit of a kick along.
Yeah, top 5 finish. It's a nice start for Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's great to be back. You know, I'm living a lot of my time overseas now, and when I come back, I just love it. The golf courses, the weather, and everything's fantastic. The golf tournaments are run great, and, you know, it's just great to be back and have a top 5 first up.
Yeah, you got your European card back too, and we're playing very well beginning of this year.
Yeah, I was playing all right over there, but, you know, I mean, I had my card back in early May, and then I didn't get to play enough, but not to worry. I worked hard on my game. You know, I spent a lot of time on the practice fairway, and, you know, it's all starting to pay off, and the game's sort of, you know, coming around.
Boys are very impressed. He left nothing behind on that drive down 18.
No, but, you know, as they know up in the box there, it was about as good as an Astro on a motorbike in the end. I mean, I had a 50-yard pitch downwind, you know, and it was hard green. I mean, it was, you know, it wasn't very good. But, I mean, lucky to make par, but we managed to make par.
Mate, well played. Good to see you.
Thanks, Timmy. Cheers.
Now back to 17th. Robert Allenby. Shocking glide.
That was a great shot, Grace, from where he was.
That is a super shot from Robert Allenby. We mentioned the duck on his hat too. It has a lot to do with the Challenge Cancer Foundation, Graves.
Peter, I just asked him about that,
Yeah.
and Rob said it's Luke. It is the mascot, basically the symbol for the Challenge Support Cancer Network, which Rob really does work so hard for. So it's very important to him.
Always has a big day at Yarra Yarra in Melbourne every year to raise funds, Sandy. So well done to Robert. Certainly well done with that shot at 17. Let's go back to the tee.
This is Peter Senior with the driver. It's a bunker up the left side. He'll be hitting over the top of that. Back into the breeze. Just a little bit right. Just going to sneak off into the light rough or not? No, it's okay.
Now, having a few problems on 17. Marcus Norgren for his 4th shot. Just come off a bogey on 16. Playing his first tournament here in Australia, and just not finishing off too well. Hopefully he'll make that for his bogey.
Great scene at 17. So many of these natural amphitheatres around the greens at Kooyonga.
This is 16. Craig Parry laid up with a 5-iron here on the par 5 second shot. This is his third. Full sand iron.
92 metres, down gale. Good looking shot right at the pin, needs to spin.
Yes, it has. It's in. Oh, look at that. No wonder he's leading the tournament. That is a fantastic shot.
Now forward again to 17th. Peter O'Malley tied for second.
Huge putt coming up here.
Didn't do anything like Peter thought it would. We'll have that to remain at 8 under, tied with Raymond Russell.
And speaking of Raymond Russell, this is his pitch shot at the 16th, the par 5.
That's out of the light rough, 90 metres. This one should kick up a touch. It looks good. It looks really good.
Oh, it is. Oz inside Craig's ball. And back for Marcus Norgren for a bogey. You want to just be a little careful. He's got himself qualified for the Australian Open next week, courtesy of his position here at the moment. And currently all the players who are on 1 under who aren't already exempt are into the Aussie Open next week. Oh, a good putt. Good putt. Nice bogey. If there is such a thing as a nice bogey, that was, and moves him back to 3 under. Look at that lovely hill there, Peter. Beautiful hill behind the 17th green.
Grady's Hill, isn't it?
Listen, if you'd had that TV stand back there a couple of years ago, it would have been all right. I would have got a drop.
Yeah, we should mention that Grades was leading the tournament here a couple of years ago, and unfortunately airmailed the green, got over the back, and well, the rest is history, unfortunately.
Anyway, enough about me. About this man here, Robert Allenby. Shots are important, but at this part of the tournament they all seem to matter a little bit more. Robert now slips outside the top 10, back to 2 under.
Back at 16, our leader. This for birdie. Great pitch he's hit in here. That to go 13 under. That's to extend his lead to 5 over Peter O'Malley playing in front, but Raymond Russell, who's took the putt.
Well, you've got to hand it to Craig. Anytime you're around the lead, in the lead, and you're 7 under for the day, you're going to win most tournaments, aren't you?
I was reading a little quote that Peter Thompson said when he won the 72 Australian Open on this course. He said, the course needs to be played with the head as much as the hands. In other words, it's a thinking man's course, and that's what Craig did there by laying out with the 5-iron to get a full pitch in, where we saw some of the other players get to the front of the green and not be able to get up and down in 2.
This is a par putt for Peter O'Malley, so he stays at 8 under, but the man he is in direct competition with for second is the Scot Raymond Russell, and here he is with a birdie chance, this to take outright second.
What you said about the golf course, Stan, is very true, and all the different winds around here, you learn about the subtleties of the course as we go over to Peter Senior on 18, second shot. Excuse me, 17, second shot on the right-hand side.
Well, the gallery might be laughing, but Peter Senior's not.
Well, the green just sits there in behind the trees, Pete.
Craig Parry leads by 4 shots, courtesy of yet another birdie. And he has the Ford Open Championship in his keeping, but the battle between Russell and O'Malley continues. And as we said, Aaron Baddeley has finished the championship as the leading amateur after an even par round of 72 today to finish at -2. Greg Chalmers had a bit of a hiccup after a good start, but then got it back to finish at 3 under. Back with the final stages after this. Peter O'Malley is looking for a birdie up the last hole to get into a tie of 2nd position with Raymond Russell. Here he is at the final hole.
Peter taking an iron from the tee because of what we saw from Wayne Riley earlier. He knows that if he gets it too far down there, he's not going to have much of a pitch shot left.
Well, this is Peter Senior at 17 over the back of the green. Now look at this for a shot. He's got to get it over the trap. He's actually going to try and skirt around it. Oh, it's going to cost something here. But if he landed it on the green there, he would have gone all the way down, could have actually gone into the water.
Well, we saw Craig Parry with an interesting stance which involved a bunker earlier in the day. And we're going to have the same thing here with Peter Senior at 17. Gallery's waiting to hail the champion for 99, Craig Parry, and I'll have to wait a little while, but there won't be too much left on this one. Allenby tee shot 18.
And Pete, this is huge. It's going to clear everything down the right-hand side.
Sorry, Sandy, we may have seen Peter O'Malley go the conservative route, but after a bogey on 17, there was no chance Robert was going to do that.
Back at the tee at 17, this is our leader, Craig Parry, driver.
Into a strong headwind left to right. Good looking shot, just moving a little bit to the right side of the fairway.
Thank you, Ozzie Moore. Fantastic position, just kicking over into the light rough, the first cut, and there'll be no problem there.
Now, Marcus Norgren.
He's coming down the left-hand side towards the edge of the bunkers.
Come on, Pete. That's right, mate. Up and down, Pete.
Just far enough up on the hill, he may actually get to see the flag for his 2nd shot there.
Yeah, Peter Senior at 17, this is his 4th shot. Watch it sneak down. Is he going to get it in? What a great effort.
Peter O'Malley at the 18th, 2nd shot.
It's a 9-iron, 143.
And he too is going to have an interesting stance.
He's actually got a couple of sprinkler heads there in front of him, so with our relief rules, he could be entitled to a drop. We'll just have to wait and see.
There they are. Oohs and ahs going up at the 18th from the galleries. And the Seagull goes over and takes a closer look at the ball.
We'll go to the 17th. Here we go with Raymond Russell. Tee shot with the driver again.
Oh, straight up the centre, good looking tee shot.
This hole really changes when it's into the wind. It's a tough tee shot. Downwind, the guys actually hit an iron off here. And up at the green, Peter Senior cleaning up for his bogey. And that drops him back to 5 under the card for the tournament.
And that's a share of 4th now with Wayne Riley, who's in the clubhouse. Here's Marcus Norgren, 2nd to 18.
This is a wedge, 120 downwind. Yeah, I think he always knew it wasn't quite going to be there.
Just caught the shoulder of that bunker there and checked up on him.
As we said, the 18-year-old Victorian Aaron Baddeley was the leading amateur. He fired 72 today. Here he is with Tim Webster.
Yeah, Pete, we keep saying he's making a habit of being the leading amateur, but it's actually only twice. It just seems like more than that.
Yeah, well, it always seems like I try and play well, and I sort of seem to get just sort of pipped at the post at the end, but it's been very good to finish leading amateur at this tournament.
It slipped away from you a little bit yesterday and early today, but to your credit, got it back.
Yeah, I had a tough stretch in the last 6 holes yesterday, and got off to an okay start and then let it slip a little, and then I played really solid coming in last about 12 holes, so it was good to come in and finish strong.
Very cleverly, you visited Royal Sydney last week to get a feel for the course for next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to get up there and play good, and the course should be in great shape, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well played again.
Thank you very much.
See you out there on the green.
Thanks.
4 birdies, 4 bogeys for Aaron Baddeley, speaking with Tim Webster beside the 18th. And Robert Allenby has let one rip here at 18.
He's hit it so far, Peter. He's actually got to play his 3rd shot across the bunker. You can see he's trying to open the club face up. We've got a great angle here.
I think Wayne Riley summed it up properly, Stan, didn't he? As good as an ashtray on a motorbike.
Well,
And it's also very strongly downwind.
Thanks, Andy. But I think what he should be doing, instead of going at the flag, is actually hitting it on line to our Channel 10 sign there and getting it in the middle of the green and having an uphill putt of some 20-odd feet or so.
Not a chance he's going left of the hole.
Not really his nature to do that, is it?
There's no chance in the world.
Well, this is what, when I said, Peter Thompson said, you got to play the course with your head as well as the hands.
Just looked at his caddy and said, I can't even stand up in this wind. It's really howling.
But he needs the Craig Parry model. That's got to be in the bunker.
Now, that's not really thinking there, is it, Wayne?
Well, I mean, he's tied for 12th, 2 under par. He's not happy with 12th. He wants to, he wants to get up there in the top 10 or as good as he can. He's not going to die from hitting that shot there, but he was making an effort to try and make a birdie. 17th hole, Raymond Russell, 2nd shot.
This is a 7-iron from 118. Into the breeze, a little bit left of the pinch. It's a safe play into the meat of the green.
Yeah, good shot. No need to be heroic. Anything on the putting surface and give yourself a chance.
We'll go to the 18th. This is Peter Senior's tee shot with an iron. Hitting it into position just short of the ridge. And that's in great position there. He's just on the upslope, and he'll probably be able to see the base of the flag. You can see the angle there. He doesn't have to worry about that right-hand bunker.
Wouldn't mind betting that this one finds the centre of the green at 17. Craig Parry, 2nd shot.
It's 8-iron from 112, and that's ultra conservative. Well left, will catch the green though.
Ultra conservative, 4-shot lead though. He can afford it.
Here's the 3rd shot of Robert Allenby from the trap at the 18th. Just got to land it out and let it drift down. And unfortunately, just got a little bit fat. That putt for par.
And a very important shot coming up for Peter O'Malley too. He's right near that bunker at the 18th, and we'll be back to see what he does when we return to Kooyonga after this break. Important shot at the 18th, the 3rd for Peter O'Malley. 1 shot out of 2nd at present.
Actually, Pete, that's very good because he originally wanted to putt it, but of course the sprinkler heads are in his way, and the new ruling is now, of course, unless the ball is on it or you stand on it, you cannot get relief from the sprinkler head, so he had to chip.
Thanks, Sandy, because we weren't quite sure. I knew that I didn't realise that the rule had changed, but that rule makes a lot of sense.
Just a little while ago, Marcus Norgren had a long putt to finish in style. It's been a tough way home for him. Problems at 16, problems at 17, and maybe another one gone yet at 18. But it's been a very good championship for the Swede, playing in front of an Australian crowd for the first time today. And as we said, that was recorded just a few moments ago, so he's got a little over a metre here. Stan, what's this one going to do?
I think up here they look easy, but down there with the crowd around and people moving and the corporate boxes behind, inside left edge. But again, it depends on the pace. If it's hitting firm, it could be nearly straight. Little spike mark in front of his line there too. No problem. What a great effort. He enjoyed that. He held a very good putt at 17, a good putt at 18.
And a good first tournament.
Well,
great effort.
Well, a great round. 74, 71, 68, 72 to be 3 under. Now he's exempt for next week. No pre-qualifying on Monday. Straight into the Australian Open.
Robert Allenby putted up to here, so this is for his bogey.
Yeah. We all play our own little tournaments out there, don't we, Stan? I mean, it's not just to win the tournament. We all want to do that, but you also things like Marcus there. It's his first tournament. It's great to finish up in the top 10 or, have a good finish. 8th he's tied for at the moment. So we all play our own little tournaments out there.
Now this one is to stay at -8 and hope that Raymond Russell makes a mistake up the last. Very good round by Peter O'Malley. 67 to close. And he's currently outright third. 1 shot behind Raymond Russell, who's about to come up the 72nd hole.
And a long, long birdie putt from left-hand edge of the 17th green.
Has he hold it? What a great effort.
This is the second shot of Steve Collins at 18. And he had a really bad start to the day with an 8 at the first. And unfortunately, that was basically the end of his chance. And still 17 holes to play. Bring you up to date with his score in a moment as we head back to 17 to watch Craig Parry tidy up. And he will head to the last with a 4-shot lead. And deservedly so. He's played brilliantly today. And a birdie at the last would give him a share of the course record.
Raymond Russell now outright second. But he still has Peter O'Malley, who is in the clubhouse now at 8 under. So, as I was saying, these tournaments within tournaments, Raymond is now fighting for second place.
It's the second shot of Peter Senior at 18. He's got a great angle to come in here, seeing where the flag is.
That's a sand iron from 115, just going left of the pin.
Just a little bit short there, Ozzy. He's got a long putt up the green, but safely on.
Back to 17. Oh, good putt. And it's no surprise to see today that the 2 best rounds of the day are Craig Parry and Peter O'Malley, 2 of the most experienced players.
That was just recorded a couple of moments ago, and now we're live on the 18th tee with the man who will walk away with the Ford Open Championship and $108,000 in prize money. We saw Steve Collins playing his approach to the last. And as we said, he started in disastrous fashion today with a triple bogey 8 at the first, but after that he was level par. So he comes to the final hole at 1 under for the championship. But let's applaud the deeds of this man. Wanted to win in Adelaide so desperately after a couple of runner-up positions here. 72nd hole, Craig Parry tee shot.
You should just straight down the centre with an iron. Perfect.
It's in a great position there in the middle of the fairway, and as the camera pans back, straight down at the flag. I wonder if he's taking any deep breaths or he's really relaxed.
No smiles yet. Well, I think he's pretty safe, but he's finished second here 3 times, so until he gets that trophy in his hands, he's not taking anything for granted.
Should also applaud the performance, Ian Stanley, of this man, Raymond Russell, who's been in contention for a long time in this championship, and now all he needs is to shoot par up the last and so up second.
Yes, he's just kept his rhythm when the hard holes there through the early stages of the back 9 there. He kept his rhythm. He kept chipping and putting and making his pars, going with a 9 for safety. Just get it in position, get it in the fairway.
Yeah, he's done just that, Ian, right down the centre. Good looking shot.
And that's safe play. You can do all the brave stuff and hit a big driver across the bunker, but we've got to make 4 here.
So as we come to the final hole, Craig Parry is about to accept the congratulations of the big gallery and also accept the winner's cheque. Will Raymond Russell accept the cheque for second? He needs a par at the last to do so. Peter O'Malley is in the clubhouse after a 67 today. Only 6 players on the course. We'll be back to watch them finish after this break. The 72nd hole has been reached by Peter Senior. Long birdie opportunity at the last.
Just to go 6 under for the tournament. Come on. It's a great finish.
Peter Senior will tie for 4th if that putt falls with Wayne Riley at 5 under. Closing round of 70 for the popular Queenslander Peter Senior.
Fellow Queenslander Craig Jones. The best of days for him.
We'll confirm the score of Craig Jones in a moment. Steve Collins, as we said, off to a horror start. Held it together very well after that, though. Round of 75, 3 over par, and those 3 shots all went at the first hole. So now only 3 players on the golf course. One of them is Raymond Russell, who needs a par at the last to sew up second. Ozzie Moore is down there watching him.
Peter, that's a 9-iron from 129. That's heading towards the pin. This could be very good.
Fabulous shot there by the Scotsman.
That'll do for second.
It's worth a few bob, isn't it?
Yes. Tie for second would have been 50,850. Outright second, 61,200. And of course, first position, $108,000. And that cheque will be slipping into the pocket of this man very soon.
Final iron shot for Parry.
This is a 9-iron from 128. Good contact going towards the pin. Will be on the green. Look out, pin.
Oh, what a display from Parry. Thrilling the crowd right to the end. That putt to equal David Mackenzie's first round score of 64.
Speaking of David Mackenzie, it was the 10th where it all came unstuck for him today. He needs a par at the last for a round of 76.
It's a pitching wedge from 119. It's gone left and staying left.
One of those days for David Mackenzie. He's going to have a tricky shot from there. We'll be back to watch Craig Parry sew up the win and Raymond Russell sew up second place when we return to Kooyonga on the other side of this break. It's the walk that every golfer wants to make. Triumphant to the 72nd hole. What a display it's been all week, and what a display today, especially from Craig Parry. And the putting action and the chipping action going on at the 72nd hole. This is the 3rd shot of David Mackenzie. Still some work to do for the Victorian to make his par. Great sight here at the final hole. Ian and Brett.
Yes, big galleries now ringing this 18th green. Corporate stands full.
Yeah, David's got this for par. If he does miss it, settles, that will drop him down to 18th spot. And that will still get him an exemption into the Australian Open next week. Disappointing. Struggled a bit on the back nine, but a fantastic tournament. That 64 really lit the place alight.
Raymond Russell now 2 putts from here will still give him second. He's going to take both of them by the look of it. He should be pretty happy with his effort today. Went into the tournament leading by a stroke. Went round Kooyonga in 70. But unfortunately, Craig Parry, his playing partner, was at his best.
One more putt for Craig Parry and he'll have the equal course record with one of his playing companions, David McKenzie, who shot that score on the first round of this championship. But whatever happens, he's about to complete his 11th win in Australia and his first in South Australia, something that's been a while in coming. He's about to savour the moment. That's the way to win it. Equal the course record with that man, David McKenzie. Craig Parry is the Ford Open champion for 99.
And that's so impressive. 75 in the final round last year to let victory slip, but not to be this year. 64 final round, 1999 Ford Open champion.
Yeah, Brett, it's still not over. This is one of the most important parts of the game. I know we're all wrapped at his hold the putt. Now they've got to get down and start marking the cards. And you can see how the players rip a little piece off the bottom of the card there where they've marked their own scores. And then when they get their scorecard, they tick it off from the 1st to the 18th, and they go back from the 18th to the 1st. And then sometimes you actually get the scorer, who does the official in there, to read the score out to you again.
So as the formalities are completed in the scorer's hut, Craig Parry signs for a course record equaling 64. There's what the final leaders board looks like. Craig Parry wins the Ford Open by 5 shots from the Scot Raymond Russell. A shot further back third, the boy from Bathurst, Peter O'Malley. And then a 3-shot cushion to Peter Senior and Wayne Riley, who finished at 5 under. Steve Webster, great day for him, the Englishman, at 4 under. Greg Chalmers at 3 under. With Marcus Norgren, the Swedish visitor, and Nick Ahern from Western Australia. And also Tony Mills, well done today after the trials of yesterday with a closing 70. Best of those players at 2 under. Gary Simpson today shooting 68. Anthony Wall, another Englishman, had a very good afternoon, as too did Cameron Percy from Victoria, who closed with a 69. David McKenzie, an unhappy day, but he'll be smiling at the end because he's ever smiling. He shot 77 today. Martin Roberts from Queensland, an even par round to finish in red figures, as too did Stephen Collins after that disastrous start. Dropped 3 at the first hole and then held it together pretty well after that. Craig Jones, 76, finished at even par. Back for Craig Parry to get the spoils in just a moment.
Welcome back to the Ford Open Championship, and our winner, oh, here he comes. Come on over here, Paz, who's just joined us.
Thanks, Jeff.
Come in here. And maybe just this few people around here can congratulate this fella. Course record 64 to win the Ford Open Championship. Give him a hand.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. But first things first, Jeff Pilates, grab that microphone and present that lovely chick.
Well, Craig, 370s and a 64, just unbelievable golf. And so on behalf of Ford Australia, congratulations on an outstanding week.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you to Ford as well.
Yeah, grab that. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks very much. Minister for Sport and Recreation, Ian Evans, and you've got a beautiful trophy.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Congratulations on the government, on behalf of the government of South Australia. We're delighted to be involved in this tournament. Ford, of course, make it possible through their sponsorship. So to Jeff, thank you for your continued sponsorship for the championship. Craig, a fantastic effort, and again, congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, present that.
Lovely.
Beautiful trophy. I bet it's lovely. Yeah. Now give it back while we have a yarn.
There you go. There you go.
Just take care of that for him.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, what about you? Nearly $1 million in the States, and now you've walked away with this, really. Course record 64. What a way to finish a tournament.
Well, I obviously played a lot better today than I have the first 3 days. The first 3 days were very difficult out there, and, you know, the golf course is in great shape, and the way the greens were, I'm playing last group, normally you get a few spike marks, but the greens were just perfect. That's why the guys could shoot low.
Everybody that came off the course today said, though, that the conditions were difficult. It's very breezy today, but you handled it with great aplomb.
Well, I was pretty disappointed after last year, blowing a shot lead with about 4 to go, and this year I wasn't going to let that happen.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, you're obviously in terrific form, and next week, the Australian Open, and the start of a great summer for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be home, and nice to win in Adelaide as well. I spent a long time.
Now, I asked you early in the week whether you'd been doing any work on the swing, but you said no, but you're striking the ball so well.
No, I'm hitting the ball really well. As I said earlier in the press conference in the week, I've changed equipment, and I'm very happy with the Strata golf ball and the Hogan irons, and, you know, hitting the shots I want to hit, and I've got my short game back, so... you know, and I putted well today as well.
Putted well. Yeah, in fact, our commentators were saying, well, he's got it back. I mean, the sort of putting we saw from you in the Dunhill Cup, which was extraordinary, we saw out here again today.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, it was. Thanks, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Craig Parry, ladies and gentlemen. Ford Open champion for 1999. Good on you, mate. Thank you. Peter Donegan, take it away.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, congratulations to Craig Parry. Marvellous performance, and we've seen a course record on the first day and an equal course record on the final day. And let's have a look at the way he did it today and some of the great highlights from this final round of the Ford Open Championship. And Paz really started it off on the early holes. He's been so strong on the par fives this week. And on the first today, he set up the first of 5 birdies on the front 9, Ian Stanley, and we knew from the word go he was going to be a hard man to toss.
Sure did. Have a look at that for a little pitch shot with that spalling sand on. He's talking about just checking it in there nicely.
Raymond Russell played very well today. I think we shouldn't forget his performance.
No, he did go into the round, the final round, leading by a stroke, and everyone gave him a big chance, but he knew Craig Parry was breathing down his neck. He knew he had to really post a great score. Just wasn't quite able to do it, and Parry overran him.
This is a guy you got to feel sorry for. You know, he's led basically from start to finish, but he hung in there for the front 9, then it just got a little bit too hard on the back. Disappointing double bogey at 10 for him.
Tell you who else gave us a thrill today, this man, Wayne Riley. Didn't he set the course alight on the opening 9?
Well, yes, the broomstick, which he does yield so very, very well. It was hot today. He made some putts, which he wasn't able to make earlier in the week.
One thing we'll remember this week for is the amount of holes in one. And we didn't have a hole in one at the 7th this week. The other par 3s we did. David McKenzie came the closest, though. Watch this.
The good part was he held the putt. Yeah, good smile. How about this for a putt? Inside left edge, hit it nice and firm, and have a look at this travel straight in the middle. No, it's in. All-round good putt.
Look, he wouldn't be overly disappointed with his week. He's really learnt some wonderful things. And speaking of experience, Wayne Riley has been on the tour for years and years. Still got lots of great golf in him.
Now watch this. Watch how pumped he was. We know he's a man who wears his heart on his sleeve, but if there was ever any doubt that he was pumped, there wasn't after that on the 10th hole.
He is a colourful character, isn't he?
And Craig Parry, his 4th birdie of the day, came up at the 8th hole.
And we did say yesterday during commentary that he was just set on simmer, and if he could turn up the heat a little bit, things would boil over.
He did here, because this was just about the shot of the tournament, his 2nd shot to the 9th.
Can you believe he hit a 5-wood in there and cut it across the trees? And look at this, checking it up right in the middle of the green there for 2 on this par 5.
He wasn't the only one who handled the 9th very well, though. His companion, Raymond Russell, got a 2nd birdie in a row at this par 5 hole. And the battle was right on then.
This Raymond Russell played the par 5s about 8 under for the week. Terrific holes for him. But Peter O'Malley actually got his putter going late on the back 9. Good to see him in fine form early in the summer.
Raymond Russell for another birdie chance here.
I think he was hoping that wind was going to blow up so that he had the Scottish conditions, but watch this. It only needed a breath of wind. And then Craig Parry was almost on the same line, and he almost did the same thing. But the only difference was his golf ball rolled one more time.
A little look in, and down she went. The par 3, the forward hole. Raymond Russell for birdie. Will this be up? Not again.
And that really was the story of the day for him. 2 putts just 2 centimetres short. And Craig Parry this into the 16th, and if we know Craig for anything, it's his pitching from 70 to 80 metres. And look at that, dancing all around the hole. Anyone with the short game that this guy has got is going to make lots and lots of money.
The key was in the lock, and that bolted it. That was really the end of it, and he could settle back and enjoy the walk home after that. And then he got to the 18th, and this is the way he finished.
There weren't too many of those putts that went in the edge of the hole either. They were all dead centre.
Equal course record of 64 for Craig Parry. Birdies on 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. Outward 9 of 32. Then birdies at 13, 16, 18 on the way home. And he will head to the Australian Open and then to the ANZ Players Championship, and we'll head there with him because we're looking forward to covering this event from Royal Queensland in a couple of weeks' time, December the 4th and the 5th. And it's going to be a great tournament. Always very exciting. Last year we had that great playoff between Stephen Leaney and Corey Paven. Let's hope for just as exciting a finish this year.
Looking forward very much to heading back to Royal Queensland.
And he might win the Open Championship, the form he's in.
I think so. He's got to be one of the favourites, and it's been a long year for him, but how good did he putt there today?
Well, I can't recall him missing anything that he should have made. A couple yesterday from 2 or 3 metres that he missed, but not today.
We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Ford Open Championship from Kooyonga in sensational Adelaide. On behalf of our commentary and production teams, thanks for your company. We look forward to more at Royal Queensland in a couple of weeks' time. And as we leave you, again, congratulations to the champion, Craig Parry.
The Ford Open Championship is a PGA Tour production in association with Becca Sport for Network 10.